Okay, not gonna lie, I want this camera. I want it bad. Am I willing to pay $5,000 for the new Sony RX1R Mark III? I don't know. That's a lot. I don't know if I could do it, but I definitely want to check it out. And so I'm going to talk about some specs that I learned from my meeting with Sony, some specs that not many people are thinking about, but also I want to highlight some specs that people should know before they decide pre-ordering the camera or not. And these are specs that may make you happy or make you angry, like this one over here. That kind of makes me angry. All right, so first of all, it's a 61 megapixel sensor, the same sensor from the Sony A7R5 and the A7C-R. And like the R5, the RX1R Mark III has the same dedicated AI processor for faster and more accurate autofocusing and better color reproduction. The new RX camera has the same Zeiss 35mm f2 sonar fixed... Uh-oh, someone's calling me. That was Sony. They're sending the camera to me tomorrow. Where was I? Oh, it's got the same Zeiss 35mm f2 sonar fixed lens, the same lens from the previous RX1R. So I've got some thoughts about that. It's got a dedicated macro mode, so you can take close-up shots with 20 centimeters of minimum focus distance. So that's really cool. The autofocusing is much improved. Like I said, it's got the dedicated AI processor, and this has 693 phase detection autofocusing points, which covers about 78% of the image area. The camera can film 4K video up to 30 frames per second in 10-bit 422 and can also shoot HD video up to 120 frames per second. Now, from my meeting with Sony, it looked like from the presentation that it has the vertical display rotation feature, where basically if you rotate the camera to film vertical content, the display info will rotate as well so that you don't have to like read it like this. In terms of shooting versatility, there's this step crop shooting feature where it simulates 35 millimeters, 50 millimeters, and 70 millimeters. Now you can kind of do the same thing with clear image zoom, but you kind of have to like do that manually and zoom and kind of guess, oh yeah, that looks like it's 50 millimeters, or look at the display. But with the RX1R Mark III, you can just do that by simply pressing the button in the back. At least that's what they told me. I think that's cool. I like that feature a lot. In terms of creative looks, there are 12 presets that you can choose from, including film looks that emulate film looks. And this is Sony's own looks or recipes, if you will. It's nothing like a Kodak simulation kind of thing, which would have been cool. But there's 12 creative looks, which you can also customize. Has the same flat top design as the previous RX1 Mark II, except that it's smaller. Definitely smaller than the Leica Q3 and the Fujifilm GFX 100. Well, I can never pronounce it right. That camera. In terms of the EVF, it's got a 2.63 million dot XGA OLED EVF that's not retractable like the previous version, and also I'm not sure if it's the same EVF from the A7C-R. I need to look into that. But it does have an included eye cup that you can attach on to the EVF for better viewing. In terms of the actual LCD screen itself, it's fixed. There's no tilting or swivel, none of that stuff, just a fixed screen, touchscreen, but fixed. Again, I got thoughts. And in terms of battery, it uses the NP-FW50 battery, the same battery from the Sony a6000 series. I don't like that battery at all, but better than that smaller battery that the old RX1R Mark II had, and the ZV-1 series. And so yeah, the NP-FW50, not a fan of that battery, but definitely better than that other small one. And then lastly, you can import your own LUTs for video, but you can't use them for photos. So there's that. Now, there are accessories that you can get, and they're quite pricey. You got the thumb grip, you got the leather body case, it's like a vegan leather kind of thing, and you got the aluminum lens hood, all going for like at least a couple $100. And I know Sony has expensive accessories, but I would just wait until like Ulanzi makes something similar that you can get for like $20. And then speaking of price, the RX1R Mark III is gonna cost you $5,099 and even more if you're Canadian. And that is like the main thing, right? The price. Usually with camera upgrades in the Sony world, it's usually like a couple $100 more than the previous one, if not like maybe around $500. But $5,000, where the previous one is what, just over $3,000. That's a big difference. And Sony did emphasize that it's still cheaper than like a Q3, and I'm like, fair, but also $5,000. That doesn't really make the new RX camera accessible for a lot of people. Like that's That's expensive. And I get it, tariffs, inflation, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But that at that price point, it doesn't really make it accessible for a lot of people, you know? And so, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the price. But now I want to highlight some key features that I think you should keep in mind before you decide to get this camera or not, starting with the dedicated AI processor. Now, I've raved about the AI processor for years, ever since it came out with the A7R5, and it's legit good. Like, I've definitely seen a huge improvement in autofocus performance and better color reproduction. So it's a good thing that Sony added this AI chip to this camera, but I also feel like it's the new standard now. You know what I mean? Like, every Sony camera from here on out should have that dedicated AI processor. But the next feature I want to highlight is that 35mm fixed lens. It's the same lens from the RX1R Mark II. And from the presentation, Sony said that that lens is still good enough to handle a 61 megapixel sensor. That's what Sony said in the presentation, but usually older lenses can't really handle higher megapixel cameras. It's just, I don't know. They said it was good enough, so I guess we'll see. But I feel like with the camera that we've been waiting for about a decade now, I feel like there should be an improved version of that lens, like maybe add optical image stabilization in the lens or just something cool and new. But yeah, I think a lot of us were like, oh, you're still using the same lens. Okay, cool. Also, I think it's also to keep in mind that the LCD screen is fixed and not tiltable at all. I think that's a mistake on Sony's part. Like, they should have at least made it tiltable, kind of like the A6000 series. I don't know how I feel about having a fixed LCD screen. Also, is it the same LCD screen from the A7C2 and the A7CR? I think it is. It's just, it doesn't tilt or flip out. The next feature to highlight that I think is actually really cool is the step crop feature that you can go from 35mm to 50 to 70, which are classic focal lengths that a lot of photographers use. And I do like it better than using clear image zoom. Like, clear image zoom is great, but I don't like having to zoom, like press the zoom button slightly to reach 50mm or whatever. And so having a button that goes from 35 to 50 to 70, I think is really cool. You do lose resolution though, the higher focal length you go to, obviously, but, you know, keep that in mind. The stabilization, it's weird that it's just electronic active stabilization. Like I said before with the lens, like if there was a new version of the 35 f2 that included like image stabilization on the lens, like that would have been great. But having it just electronic, I don't know. And for being a $5,000 camera, like that's the only option for stabilization. Not really a big fan of that. And then it's cool that the camera can import your own user LUTs for video, but kind of a shame that you can't do that for photos. So yeah. And then let's see, any other notes that I wrote down? I think that's it for now. Again, that's just based off the meeting that I had with Sony. I know they're kind of targeting the Leica Q3 users, especially at that price point, but I don't know. I think the price is like the biggest hindrance, if anything else. Also, the fact that the lens is the same one they used 10 years ago, that may be a hindrance. And so it's a great upgrade. I think it's cool. And I wish they kind of kept it between the $3,000 and $4,000 price range, but at $5,000, that's crazy. And the accessories, they're so overpriced. Just wait for Alonzi to make some cool stuff, man. Regardless, it's a really cool camera. I love the look of it. I think it looks gorgeous, and it's a camera that I really, really want. Like, I recently went to the beach for my family vacation, and I took my Sony Alpha 1 Mark II and my 24-70 G Master Mark II. Took some great photos, but it was a chunky lens. Like if I had the new RX1R Mark III, like that would have been way, way better to take. So yeah, but I am getting the camera tomorrow. And so if you have any questions at all about the new RX1R Mark III, then let me know in the comments below.